Tuskegee Airmen and Tuskegee Airmen. Everybody get this
Good
stuff.
buddy. How you doing? Good to see you again. How you been? Love coming to me. Hug.
Oh, there we go. That's the money shot. That's the money shot.
This is
And
my
this is
wife,
Mrs.
and
Carter.
she was the first pilot in Alabama. So glad to be here.
So, lady, pretty special. Pretty special.
All right.
Pretty special.
Come on, get that stick back. Come on.
Get the steak back. That is so special, isn't
Tell
that?
me you can do that if you want
Isn't
to.
that? That is
Look
special.
right, brother, and you can come out of it.
Exactly. We'll hold this for you. The president of the vice president of the university has an announcement for you and some flowers.
I want to welcome you to Tuskegee on behalf of Tuskegee University. And as you well know, this is the home of black aviation. And you make us all proud, not only with your affiliation with the historic Tuskegee Airmen, but because you have persevered and you are setting new standards on your own. And because you do that so profoundly, we want to offer you a scholarship to attend Tuskegee University, and we want you to help us as we reinvigorate flight training here in Tuskegee in the future. So welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that fantastic? Mr. Mayor?
On behalf of the City of Tuskegee, all of our employees, the City Council, and all of the citizens of this community, we congratulate you. We thank you for keeping the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen intact. And we'd like to offer you a proclamation one. And this proclamation will be permanently etched in our records at Tuskegee. I'm going to also go so far as to adopt this day as Kimberly Anyadike Day in the city of Tuskegee, henceforth and forevermore.
All right.
My father was before they even formed the CPTP. My father happened to be selected to fly to Washington along with Dale White to interest Congress into including them into the CPTP. And on their flight, they met with Edgar Brown, who was a lobbyist of the National Airmen's Association of America. And Edgar Brown took them into the Congressional building. On their way into the Congressional building, they met a senator standing there waiting to take the little trolley car back out to the airport. And the senator said, "Good morning, Edgar. Who are these two fellas you have with you?" And they're dressed up with their flight gear on. And so Edgar said, "Well, they're trying to get into the Army Air Corps." And so the senator said, "Well, why don't they join?" And Chauncey Spencer Sr. said, "Seems to be for whites only, Senator." And so the senator said, "Well, are you citizens? Yes. Do you vote? Yes. Well, where's your airplane?" And they told him where the airplane was. And so the senator said, "Well, how about if I take a look at it around 3 o'clock? Chauncey Spencer Sr. said he didn't think they were coming out there, so they got out there around 3:15. Well, when they got out there were 4 administrative assistants and this senator. And they didn't know who this senator was, and neither did the senator know what his importance would be later on in the future. The senator's name was Harry S. Truman. He was a junior senator from Missouri. The senator said, "You mean to tell me you flew this thing I'm looking at from Chicago to Washington?" And it was a Lincoln Page biplane. It had 2 instruments, an altimeter and oil pressure gauge. Had a drag tail on it, no brakes, no lights, no nothing. They flew this thing from Chicago to Washington. Chauncey Spencer offered to give the senator a ride, and the senator said, "No, you can't give me a ride, but if you got guts enough to fly this thing I'm looking at from Chicago to Washington, I got guts enough to fight for you to become part of the United States Army Air Corps."
Everybody knows that there were Tuskegee Airmen fighter pilots, the glamour guys. But we also had the 477th Bombardment Group. We had a B-25 group that didn't get a chance to go overseas. But here in Tuskegee, we had 996 young men who got their wings. We had 450 of them go overseas as fighter pilots, and they flew the P-40, the P-39, the P-47, and the P-51 Mustang during the war.
Well, 3 years ago, my mom, she read an article in the newspaper about Tomorrow's Aeronautical Museum. When we read that it was a non-profit organization that you could, in exchange for community service hours, you could get flight time, we thought it was a really cool idea because it was just really interesting. And so we decided to take a demo, and ever since we were hooked.
Wow. So you just took one demo flight and that was enough?
We got bit by the flight bug.
Well, this is a very, very important thing as far as Tuskegee is concerned. Why? Because we have a young person who at an early age is involved in achievement. She will be a role model and example for all of the ages, for those who come behind her, who may think about doing something on a grander scale than perhaps in their school or in their neighborhood. When you have a young lady who takes that bold step, when you have a young person who is willing to give a bit more, to step beyond, it's the kind of thing that really indicates great leadership at an early age. Others will follow. Why? Because she's a proven commodity. And young Kimberly at 15 is truly a proven commodity because she has flown airplanes already. She has landed airplanes. She understands what lift and drag is. She understands what the airplane is about. She's at peace with the airplane. She's one with the airplane. When you have a person who enjoys flying and who indeed loves flying, they work at making it something that's even more than what most people think it is.
Hey, Fraser. That's so cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. Congratulations.
She did the landing and was on all the channels, ABC, CBS, NBC, and they were all there to cover her landing. And because of the exposure of TV and so forth, and then I want to take them to Jamestown, Virginia, where America got its start, 1607. And by taking her to Jamestown, she can understand better the history of America. But while we were there, we were expected to be there for about an hour and a half. Well, it took us 3 hours just to get out of there because of the tourists from Chicago, Texas, Florida, across the entire United States will stop us every 10 feet. And they will ask for her autograph, ask for pictures, and they all saw her on TV, and it was great.
Tell us how important you think that is, that they hear from you the Tuskegee Airman story and the importance of young people knowing that they can succeed.
Well, I think the Tuskegee story of the Tuskegee Airmen is very inspirational and certainly provides encouragement for our young people to find that if they want to, they can. It only requires determination and sticking to that determination.